How's it going, everybody, and welcome to another brand new video. Today we are talking all about one of my favorite games of all time, Persona 4 Arena Ultimax. So, if you were paying attention to the Game Awards or just following Atlus news in general, you will know that Atlus announced at the Game Awards pre-show, as a certain someone may have predicted, that there was an announcement of an Ultimax port coming not only to PlayStation 4, but also coming to Nintendo Switch and PC. Xbox people, I am very sorry. We will talk about this one day, I'm sure. But since the course of that has happened, we've had a American trailer, a Japanese trailer, and a Persona 25th Anniversary Nintendo Direct ripoff kind of video like that, talking all about the game. And one of the unfortunate facts that we've discovered is that this game is going to be a digital-only release in the West. Now, thankfully, Japan is getting a physical release on PlayStation 4 and Switch, but we are not sure if that will have English subtitles, let alone English voice acting. And this is a game that has a lot of story, especially considering it includes all of the story from the original Persona 4 Arena and Ultimax. There's a lot of voice acting that can be included here, and it would be a really big shame if it was all left out of the physical version. So, we are here to talk about why does this not have a physical release? Why is this releasing in March? And what's kind of going on with it? So, first off, if anyone doesn't know, Ultimax released all the way back in 2014 in North America for PlayStation 3 and 360. There was an arcade release earlier in Japan, but for the most part, these games were experienced through PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. Now, while this game adapted and evolved the Persona 4 Arena formula a lot and is viewed as a very, very successful sequel amongst fans and critics, the game did not sell very well. And what this really means is Arena was kind of an out-of-left-field game when it released in 2012. It was a huge arcade hit. It had a huge fighting game following. A lot of fans jumped into it as a new opportunity to not only expand upon the story of Persona 4, but to also experience this kind of semi-crossover with the world of Persona 3, and just check out a new fighting game by Arc System Works, which was such a match made in heaven. Now, what changed over 2 years, from 2012 to 2014, that would make the sales not match that of Arena? And unfortunately, that just kind of goes to the state of the world. 2012, PS3, 360, that was the hardware you wanted to be on. You probably could have made a case for a PlayStation Vita version of the game, which there is an interesting story that not a lot of people have ever talked about with that maybe I'll tell one day if people are interested regarding Arena and the PlayStation Vita. But with 2014, though, we were now in a post-Xbox One, PlayStation 4 world, and these games were not backwards compatible. They are still not backwards compatible. So the only way for the last 7 years you could play this outside of an arcade was to hook up a PlayStation 3 or an Xbox 360 to play this game. And if you remember at the time, when the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One came out, people flocked those systems in droves. It was the new hotness, everyone had been ready for a new system, we were hungry for experiences. And even though new games were coming out on last-gen hardware at the time, it didn't really have that sticking power unless it was something kind of like really, really big. And even those situations of like bigger games that came out in 2014 only on last-gen eventually got ported at a much quicker rate. Look at something like South Park: The Stick of Truth. So unfortunately, by September of 2014, people were just really ready to play new games on new hardware. And even though there was still a very dedicated audience of people playing Ultimax, Japan and the West in general definitely showed that those numbers were a lot softer. Now, this is by no means the worst-selling non-mainline Persona game. This is definitely sold better than Persona Q2, Persona 3 and 5 Dancing, but it's really, really low on the list there. Other games have sold much better than it. Obviously, the first Arena, Persona Q, and even Persona 5 Strikers. So even though the game had a lot of stuff going for it in terms of brand new story, new characters, new content, expanded online, and just kind of a good time for fighting games in general, it failed to really stick the landing in terms of getting a new crowd, getting a new audience there. The old Arena fans were still coming to the game, but it just kind of flopped in terms of how it did at retail. I'll never forget, I was actually working in retail at the time when Ultimax came out, and for years and years and years, you would just see PS3 and 360 copies just taking up GameStop shelves, because it was just one of those things of they made a whole bunch, but they definitely did not sell out at the rate they wanted, and they got discounted for a very long time. And much like everything Atlus, eventually it does kind of go back in price, but that's just kind of gaming in general. So it's really funny to me now, jumping ahead all of these years later, I'm really, really excited for Ultimax, but I'm so disappointed that Atlus West has just kind of given up on a physical release in the West right away. And I'm disappointed for a couple of reasons. One, because much like with a lot of digital-only games, it's almost kind of like sending your game out to die, no matter how well it does. And it's just one of those things of like, I know that even if this is like the perfect port, even if they like added some crazy amount of new features with it, making a $30 digital-only title on PC, Switch, and PS4, it's going to hit to the fans. I'm going to be playing a ton of it. I'm going to be streaming a ton of it. I'm really excited for it, but this isn't going to attach anyone new to it, which is really disappointing. Like, there's not that moment of someone could just be at a store shelf or like look at it online and be like, oh my gosh, I really, really want this. And so you're missing out on that new audience, I think, and just kind of being like, okay, we're selling this to the old fans, but I know there will be new people checking out Ultimax, especially now that it's on newer platforms, but it's just kind of disappointing that they kind of just said, well, this is worth remastering, or at least bringing to new platforms, but it's probably not worth putting out on retail. So, speaking of retail, one of the things I want to say is, Atlus, you have 3 months. There's time to turn this decision around. You've just launched a brand new Atlus shop. Shop Atlus is here, it has exclusive merchandise, so why not make one of your first releases in 2022 a physical exclusive release on Switch and PS4 to all of your fans who want a copy. And it's kind of like a no-brainer. Like, look at all these companies who have done things of just like, hey, we'll sell you a retail copy, but you can only buy it on our website. Or maybe it's at select retailers. It's not going to be at Walmart. It's not going to be at Target, but maybe we'll get a couple of copies sent over to Best Buy or GameStop. But for the most part, if you want this game, this is on our website. You have to buy directly from us, which is just giving more profit to Atlus. So I just kind of wanted to make this video to give a little bit of context in terms of, while Ultimax is still a really, really good game, and I'm excited for this new port, hope is not lost for this physical release, at least if we make our voices heard. If you want to make this game have a little bit more of an extended lifespan, or at the very least just something that you can add to your collection and be proud of as a fan of this company and as a fan of the series with Persona, let Atlus know. Tweet at the Atlus West account. Tweet at Shop Atlus. Of course, though, ask respectably. You don't have to force this. The chance of it happening, I know, I'm very realistic, is very, very low. We're not, like, demanding this like we need it. At the end of the day, this is just a video game. This is a luxury hobby. This is not a need. This is just a want. But this is just kind of a shout-out to, like, hey, I'm very certain that Atlus, if you said in January, hey, we heard the pleas, we've heard all of your tweets, we've seen your messages, we're going to open up pre-orders from January to March for physical copies. If you order a copy from here to there, we'll print these copies, and if you want it, there you go. Full English, there's your subtitle support, everybody's happy, win, win, win. And because it's limited, like, you could get away with a little bit more. Like, you could get away with maybe charging more than $30 for it because this is a smaller print run. People would maybe buy a $40 or $50 copy. At $50, I hopefully you would include a little bit extra, but, like, the argument is just really, we're not asking for a miracle here, we're just asking for this game's legacy to be remembered with these ports. And a digital-only release, even at a really good deal that is $30, I think is not living up to the justice this game needs, especially while celebrating Persona's 25th anniversary. Like, let's get a 25th anniversary box set at the end of the year. Let's look at all the things we're going to be doing to celebrating Persona's legacy this year. Like, let's celebrate them more than just going to my PlayStation home bar and go like, oh yeah, that game came out this year, and then either playing it or getting sad there's no physical copy. So at the end of the day, just kind of wanted to make this video, summarize a little bit of Ultimax's financial failures is a little bit too strong of a word, but financial disappointments. It's definitely not going to be one of these crazy games that just continues to sell and sell and sell. Hopefully that can be wrong. Hopefully this port does blow up or something. I would love for that to be the case. Lord knows I will be talking about it every opportunity I get. But basically kind of wanted to explain, hey, where's Atlus's headspace at? They probably aren't wanting to make a bunch of copies that are going to stick at retail and just sit there until they're on clearance, just like they did 7 years ago. But let's also try and make fans happy. Let's promote this new shop that we're using. Let's think of selling exclusive items outside of a $100 hoodie or a skate deck for Persona 5 Royal. Let's think out of the box by putting a game in a box, if that makes sense. Either way, that's enough rambling for one day. Thank you all so much for watching and listening to this video. If you were excited for Persona 4 Arena Ultimax, let me know in the comments below. Do you want a physical copy? Do you want it on PlayStation? Do you want it on Switch? Are you wondering just as much as I am where that Xbox version is? Because, hey, it existed at one point, so Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and if you could please consider subscribing to the channel. It really helps. The growth and everything this year has been super overwhelming. I cannot thank all of you enough. From the podcast to Twitter to Facebook, it's just been really overwhelming, and in such an awesome positive way. And what I'm going to be doing to celebrate Christmas this year is I will be giving away a brand new sealed copy of Persona 5 Strikers on PlayStation 4 or Nintendo Switch, winner's choice. Nocturne HD on Nintendo Switch or PlayStation 4, obviously, winner's choice, and SMT5 on Nintendo Switch. This is going to be a physical copy. This giveaway is open to anyone around the world. All you have to do is make sure that you are subscribed to the channel, comment below on this video which of the 3 games you would like and on which platform, as well as your Twitter @. Make sure you are following @SMT Network on Twitter. That way I can contact all 3 winners via Twitter direct messages and hopefully get all these games off to the winners before the end of the year. So this giveaway will be going on for a week, which means I will be picking a winner on December 20th, so you have 7 days to enter this contest. Don't forget to comment below, don't forget to tell me which game you want, don't forget to mention on the platform and your Twitter handles, that way I can actually contact you and give you your free game. So thank you all so much, hopefully you enjoyed the giveaway, and yeah, be excited for Ultimax, even if you've never touched it before. It is a heck of a game, and I cannot wait to talk about it and show it off to more of you. Have a good one. Bye everybody.